All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going beyond the buzzwords to talk about why even the most brilliant marketing strategies can totally fall flat, and more importantly, how to make sure yours actually works in the real world.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had one of those amazing light bulb moment plans that just completely fizzled out the second you tried to put it into practice? Ugh, it's the worst, right? And if you've been there, trust me, you are not alone.
But here's the thing, and this is kind of the secret sauce. Most of the time, the problem isn't your idea. It's not the strategy. It's that huge, tricky gap between the plan on paper and the action in reality. It all comes down to implementation.
And what do we even mean by implementation? Well, it's simply the process of turning those plans into real action. It's about getting your people, your processes, and your tech all lined up to deliver on the promises you've made to your customers. It's the difference between just having a map and actually taking the journey.
This brings us to a massive hurdle that so many businesses stumble over, the strategy execution gap. You see this all the time, right? Companies pour tons of money into shiny new tools or big campaigns, and then crickets. They're just disappointed with the results. And it's almost never because the idea was bad. The real culprit is usually hiding inside the company, organizational issues. This isn't just a marketing problem, it's a whole company challenge. To make this all feel a bit more real, let's follow the story of Sarah. She owns a local coffee shop called The Daily Grind. Now, she's got fantastic coffee, but she's really struggling to get her customers to come back. We're going to watch how she tackles this exact strategy execution gap.
Okay, so where does Sarah start? Well, before you jump in and start doing things, the absolute first step is to take a good, hard, honest look at where your business is right now. You have to know your starting point before you can even think about the destination.
A really useful way to do this is to figure out your company's maturity level when it comes to customers. Businesses usually go through a few stages. They start out just selling a product. Then they get a little smarter and start marketing to groups of customers. Then they manage service and support. And finally, the Holy Grail, creating a truly one-to-one, individualized experience.
So looking at this, Sarah has a total aha moment. She realizes the daily grind is stuck way back in stage 1. She's so focused on selling amazing coffee that she's completely forgotten to build relationships with the actual people buying it.
And if you want to go even deeper, you can do a full audit across all these areas. You've got to ask the tough questions. The whole point is to find those hidden roadblocks, like a fuzzy vision or not enough training, before they have a chance to blow up your project later.
So once you know where you stand, the next phase is all about your people. And I can't stress this enough. No matter how cool your tech is or how perfect your process is, it's your team that actually makes change happen.
This really gets to the heart of it. For any big change to work, you need a crystal clear vision, and it has to be championed, relentlessly, by the leaders. They have to be the engine, driving it forward and knocking down any barriers that get in the way. So look what Sarah does. She creates her vision. And notice, it's not something boring like increase sales by 10%. No, it's something her team can actually feel and get excited about. Making every visit warm, personal, and appreciated. That's a mission everyone can get behind. And a vision like that, it has a superpower. It smashes through those dreaded silos. It helps a company move from a place where every department is off in its own little world to a joined-up culture where everyone, the barista, the manager, the marketing person, is on the same team, working toward that same customer-focused goal.
Which brings us to a huge classic mistake people make with their budget. It is so tempting to throw all the money at the new technology, but the projects that actually succeed, they put a huge chunk of the budget, sometimes as much as half, towards the people costs. We're talking training, support, and just managing the human side of change.
Okay, your assessment is done, your team is prepped and ready to go. Now it's finally time to build the actual blueprint for your project.
Now here's a fantastic tool for this. It's called the Dependency Network. I know, it sounds super corporate and complicated, but the idea is actually genius in its simplicity. You work backward. You don't start with the app you want to buy. You start with a big business goal and then work your way down, step by step, until the technology you need becomes obvious. Let's just watch Sarah use this. Her main goal, her business driver, is to be more profitable. The benefit that will get her there is more repeat customers. The change needed to make that happen is getting her staff to actually promote a loyalty program. And only then, at the very end of the line, does she land on the technology she needs,
A simple loyalty app. See how the tech serves the goal, not the other way around? It's brilliant.
Oh, and here's a little pro tip for any project you're working on. Plan for some quick wins. Right at the beginning, you need to prove that this thing is actually working. Showing some real value, fast, builds up that crucial momentum and keeps everybody bought in for the long run.
So, after all this planning, all this prep work, what's the actual payoff? This is where we see how focusing on implementation finally closes that frustrating gap between a great strategy and great results.
So, let's just recap the recipe for success we've laid out. First, you have to accept that how you do something is just as critical as what you're doing. Second, the whole foundation is built on knowing where you're starting from and getting your people on board. And finally, real results come from smart, structured planning and, most of all, an engaged team.
And the result for Sarah's coffee shop was incredible. Her customers started coming back again and again, not just for the coffee anymore, but because the whole experience made them feel seen and heard and like they actually mattered. She proved that a pretty simple plan, when it's executed really well with a team that cares, can totally transform a business.
And all of this brings us to one last question for you to think about. Take a look at your own brilliant strategies. Right now, are they just documents sitting on a shelf collecting dust? Or are they living, breathing action plans that your entire team is excited to bring to life? Because that difference, well, that's everything.